Holy Mary Joie. I am speechless. I am beside myself. I cannot believe what I've just read. Guys, this is True Love, and I'm about to spoil chapter 1079 of One Piece. So if you haven't read it yet, hurry up, go and read it, and then get back here because we really need to talk. Okay, so let's start this review from the back. Holy crap, we just saw the first named attack from Shanks in 25 years or something. He just one-shotted Kid and Killer at the same time with a divine departure. So does that move sound familiar to you? Because it really should, because that's what Roger used to send Odin absolutely flying in the Odin flashback. So Roger clearly taught that move to Shanks. For all we know, he's probably even improved it over the years. It's probably stronger than it even was when Roger was around. We also saw the craziest feat of observation haki ever. I can't believe this. To put some perspective on this, Katakuri was notorious. He was famous for his future sight, which meant that he could see 2 seconds into the future and made him completely OP. In this chapter, Kid was about to unleash a Punk Rotten attack that he said would demolish the 9 ships from Shanks' fleet that were present in 10 seconds. So Shanks saw the entirety of this attack, and he saw the aftermath of it. He saw the damage it would do, and he still had time to jump into action and attack Killer and Kid. So that's got to be 12 seconds of future sight or something that would allow him to actually see all that, process it, think about it, and then actually jump into action and attack him. I'm so into seeing Shanks as this massive monster, this huge haki monster. When we saw his showcase of long-range Conqueror's haki versus Green Bull, it really blew everything we knew about the ceiling of haki out the window. We'd never seen it like that. Now we're seeing him blow what we know about future sight out of the water too. How incredible is this? I'm actually pretty giddy after reading this one. You'll probably hear it in my voice. I don't usually get so excited and hyped about a chapter, but this one really has just hit me in the stomach. I remember when Oda told us that Kid was going to have a huge role to play in the story, and I'm kind of laughing because we've just actually spent a fairly significant amount of time with him in Wano. I know we didn't get too much character building of him, but he did get a lot of screen time. And then it seems like his role turned out to be just this springboard to further fling Shanks just head and shoulders above everybody else in the current world. Seeing what happened to him, what happened to his ship and his crew cowering and just handing over the poneglyph rubbings, I don't see how he can come back from that and rebuild himself. I don't see there being enough time. With the current pacing of One Piece, I really can't see him having enough time to rebuild his crew, rebuild himself, and to come back and have another, a third try at taking out Shanks. I just don't see it happening. At the Marineford War, Kaido was stopped by Shanks off screen, and we haven't found out exactly what happened. But after a chapter like this, we have a lot more info as to how someone like Kaido would be stopped by anyone. I want to point out as well that Shanks was actually putting in effort for this attack. He saw what Kid was preparing for and the devastation it would unleash upon the fleet. And I wouldn't say he panicked, but he did put in a whole lot of effort. He took Kid seriously, and he acted accordingly to shut it down quick. I just want to point out, it wasn't like a flick of the wrist or something. He definitely did put some oomph into it. It wasn't like when Kaido first one-shot Luffy in Gear 4th. The damage this did to Kid, though, was astronomical. So Kid's completely out. He's not moving at all. And like I mentioned before, Kid's crew are quite rightly scared stiff. And they cannot hand over their poneglyph rubbings fast enough. They are just cowering in their boots. Kid's attack actually looked so cool as well. I love how he was using his magnetism to pull all of their ships together so that his area of attack move could get them all in one go. I'm sure he could have spread out the concentration of the laser to do damage to a lot of them over a broader range. However, using his magnetism, pulling them all together means he could concentrate it into this super powerful blast and just shoot straight through. And that was actually so cool. However, even handing over these poneglyph runnings as fast as they did, this does not save them for what comes next. Dory and Brogy declare that you shouldn't point a gun at someone's hometown and expect to get away scot-free with no consequences. And let me tell you, the consequences were dire. We get to see their team-up attack one more time. The Hakoku, long-ranged attack which blew through that giant fish all the way back in Little Garden. Well, this time it blows straight through Captain Kidd's ship, the Victoria Punk, blowing his entire crew down to the bottom of the sea. I love how this move keeps coming back, like with, I know Big Mom used it, Big Mom and Kaido used their sort of like upgraded version of it. But seeing Dory and Brogy use it and having it still be relevant at this section of the story when the first time we saw it was so long ago really makes me smile. The foreshadowing in this is incredible, and seeing it used to wipe out Captain Kidd's ship, his entire ship, it just goes straight through the middle and disintegrates it, is just incredible. I feel like the Kidd pirates have sort of been sacrificed at this stage of the story to really hype up Shanks, and I am not mad at all. I think this is incredible. The display of power from Shanks is really opening up what the possibilities of people in the One Piece world really are. Like I mentioned earlier, we thought that Luffy was a top tier Haki user, a master basically, just slowly adding to his arsenal, acquiring new techniques and perfecting older, more familiar ones. But now we're finally seeing what someone like Shanks is capable of, someone who's lived his entire life at this top level of the world. We're now aware of the superhuman heights that Luffy still has to attain to reach his goal of becoming Pirate King. We thought Kaido was going to be the strongest sort of physical obstruction in Luffy's way, but look at Shanks, he's speedrunning his way to the One Piece. He's finally decided that he's going to have a run at it to become Pirate King, and I doubt there's anything anyone can do to stop him. Another interesting piece of information we get in this chapter is that Shanks' fleet is actually relatively weak. So Kidd calls them fodder, and he's actually surprised they're under the Yonko banner. However, we also get, things like a speed shift bubble from one of them saying, "Oh, but I only just met you," to Shanks as Shanks was leaving. So we also know that just because you're under the banner of Red Hair, or just because you're protected by him, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily in with him. You're not one of the boys. You're not a proper part of his family and his army, like say with the Whitebeard crew and the fleet. They're all proper allies, they're all proper members and, family members of him. They're still New World level pirates, so we can assume that they're above fodder compared to normal Marines and civilians and stuff. They very likely use Haki, at least at the most basic level, but they've either grown slack, out of shape, and out of practice by being under Shanks for so long and never fighting, or they never were strong, but just their relationship with Shanks allowed them to fly his flag and benefit from the association. Lastly, guys, anyone who's read this chapter knows a very important pirate crew are about to arrive on Egghead Island. We see their ship arriving in this chapter, and they're about to shake everything up. However, at risk of this video being way too long, I'm going to leave that for another video. We can explain what that means for the story going forward, what we can expect their plan to be, or their reasoning for being on Egghead. Look, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. I will talk to you later on in this week. Have an awesome weekend. Leave a comment down below. I reply to all of them at this stage because there aren't many. And if you've listened this far, then please consider subscribing. Thank you so much, and goodbye.